Welcome back to iShine Connect.
Welcome back to this very special NASCAR Race Hub. We're previewing the 2024 season. Of course, the 2014 champ Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, so it's a little drivers-only discussion moving forward. Let's talk about one of the hottest drivers, right? 2023 started with a whole lot of change for two-time Cup Series champ Kyle Busch. Well, with the season and wins under his belt, what's his outlook going into 2024? He told Adam Alexander.
I'm not sure Kyle Busch went to Richard Childress Racing thinking he had something to prove, but he definitely went there knowing he still had a lot left to accomplish.
I'm a fiery guy, and I've shown my rear end a few times.
I'm not surprised about anything. Congratulations.
I'm sure I'm complaining, and I'm whining, and I'm a crybaby.
He's the most polarizing driver that we have, and we don't like the good guy. We like the villain.
Kyle always has a chip on his shoulder, and he races better that way.
You rewind to 2023. How did expectations meet reality a season ago?
You know, I would say expectations met pretty well. I always kind of set the benchmark of like 5 wins is a great season, and that's kind of where you want to be for a championship caliber season. We were really good coming out of the gate. We had a great Clash, a great Daytona. We won Fontana, so we were really rolling there and clicking some stuff off early. And then we kind of fell off a little bit towards the mid part of the season, and it never recouped. It just didn't seem like we could relight the fire.
He's goal-driven all the time.
What was your best win a year ago?
I would say Fontana.
Hell yeah. Welcome to RCR, baby. Woo!
Being able to win the first race at RCR in the 8-car, Fontana being one of my favorite racetracks of all time, winning there was really special.
What is something you learned in 2023 about your owner, Richard Childress, that you didn't know going into the season?
A couple times during the year, my interactions with some of the guys and gals around RCR, and they were like, "You're so much like Richard." And I'm like, "What? Why? Like, what do you mean?" And they were like, "You just want to be good. You want to be perfect, attention to detail, all that sort." You wouldn't have really thought about Richard Childress and Kyle Busch being similar personalities, but seems as though we are.
Kevin Harvick retires. Ryan Blaney is the champ at age 29. Does all that make you feel old?
A little bit, yeah, definitely. Harvick retiring, yeah, that's one. He had great success and had really, really good seasons. And then, yeah, Blaney, now he's a NASCAR champion. I'm like, I remember you when you were 15, 16 years old racing against you, you know. It does set on you and make you feel old.
Don't focus on you. You do you.
So who talks more trash after a win, you or Brexton?
Definitely him. He reminds me all the time that where he's got way more wins than I have. I'm like, I don't think this is really the same thing, but I'm letting him go with it.
If you win in 2024, that will be the 20th consecutive season that you have won at the Cup level. What does that record mean to you?
It means a lot, considering who I beat, you know? When I was at Hendrick and Jimmy and Jeff, they were winning all the races. There was always that sense of greatness and expectation that they always had, that everybody always had on them. I need to get it again, you know, to be able to get 20, to keep it going.
Bring it home, champ. We did it, guys.
2024 is a success if
you at least got to match your success. You know, let's say 3 wins and more top 5s, more top 10s, less DNFs. Making it to the championship 4 is a great year, and then winning a championship is icing on the cake. It's just a matter of having the right people in the right places at the right time to have success.
All right, who was that guy? Was that guy Kyle Busch?
I don't know, man. This new Kyle Busch here. Where's my villain at? We need Kyle Busch, the villain in NASCAR. I've always raced against, you know, when you raced against him, Kevin, you knew that you had your hands full with him as a driver, but you also knew if anybody was going to bite back, it was that cat, and it was going to happen fast. I love the fact that he's found a new home with RCR. I like the comment that he is a lot like Richard. We both had Richard. Yeah. I mean, he loves to win. There ain't nobody win better than Richard Childress, but you can take a butt chewing on Monday morning as well. I think he has a good stable at RCR. I know he has a good home. We both know that. We both live that. But I want to see that villain back. You know, Denny Hamlin has taken over the reins of the villain. He gets the booze now. He doesn't do villain things on the racetrack. He does it afterwards. This cat right here, he does villain-like things.
Well, the thing that I can tell you about being the villain, though, is it's a lot of work.
Yes, that's what we want, Kevin.
And I know
By the way, Kevin spent a couple months, years
I know that's what we want, but I think when you look at the success at the beginning of the season for Kyle and everything that he did in that 8-car, It was because they were focused, prepared, had worked on everything that they did. And then, you know, like he said, you know, I think that the second half of the year kind of tailored off. So I think it's important for Kyle to be that leader, be laser focused on what he's doing inside of RCR to get everything where it needs to be in order to maintain that throughout the season, because it's a progression. You have to make your cars better. You have to analyze what you're doing, and the details as you go through the year just get smaller and smaller and smaller. But how many of those details can you stack?
Well, you are right, though. We definitely need Kyle Busch, not only because he's a two-time champion, because he's so dynamic and has such a great personality, along with a lot of the other Chevy drivers. Let's focus on some of those. We've got a big lineup across the board. We're going to focus on the Hendrick Motorsports stable right up on top. We just talked about RCR, Trackhouse Racing, of course, co-owned, Pit Bull, Grammy Award winner. Ross Chastain has done some great things. But up top, you've got Jeff Gordon, the four-time champ who runs that organization, and Clint, Chase Elliott. We know he missed 7 races last season. Alex Bowman missed a handful as well. This is a year that those two have to turn it around.
2 injuries for both of them. Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman both injured last season. Some huge setbacks. They're going to get it straightened out. Jeff Gordon will get that place line back out. Did you hear? Rick Hendrick is the name on the door of that place. Rick Hendrick will figure that out. He knows employees better than any because he has more than any. I think our Hendrick Motorsports status quo, other than the other 2 catch, you know, the 5 and the for B8.
Yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts, though, because when we talked before the show, you had mentioned that Alex Bowman was under the most pressure there.
Absolutely.
To go out. Why?
Look at the other 2. You got a champion, 2 champions, and William Byron almost won a championship, winning races each and every week, knocking on the door to a win every single Sunday. He's got to catch up. He's the one that has to catch those other guys. A lot of pressure there.
When you look at the other 2 guys and you look at the 5 of Kyle Larson, the thing that I always worry about with Kyle Larson is he's got too much going on. To me, this year, he's settled in.
Yeah.
He's got his sprint car stuff. He's got, you know, everything that he's got going on at the Cup side. It seemed like he went back and forth and didn't miss a beat this year, whereas in the past, I felt like it kind of disrupted the things that he does. So it seems like they've got that cycle figured out. William Byron, gosh, he came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, yeah, and now, but now he's consistently winning races, and he won multiple races. And the thing I like about William Byron this year is he didn't level off. He went through the whole season being competitive, and when you thought they were in a lull, he squeaked one out somehow, some way. So I like the fact that William Byron raced the whole year and won races throughout the whole year, not just in chunks.
You were a former team owner. When you have Chase Elliott coming back into the fold because he missed so many races last season, you've got William Byron, Kyle Larson, and of course Chase Elliott. All 3 of those guys contending for wins and championships. Bad problem to have, or good problem to have, but it is tough to manage, no?
Well, it is, but it isn't. You have to have those guys push each other in order to make the car better. You have to make your cars better every year. And the thing that I used to always tell my guys, progress or die, because if you don't progress throughout the season, you're going to get behind.
Constantly
you have the
changing.
recipe, you have the speed, you have the talent. Now you got to manage it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we're going to manage these 2 when we come back, because we're going to continue to move through the teams, the drivers, and the manufacturers. Up next, Toyota. What could this season bring those guys right there? And we're going to sit down with 3-time Daytona 500 winner Denny Hamlin, of course, co-owns 23XI with Michael Jordan. How is he juggling all of the stuff that's on his plate? We'll discuss.
We'll be right back after this short break.
All over America, thousands of kids are getting ready for one of our great racing traditions. The All-American Soapbox Derby, presented by Levi Strauss Signature. Let's go racing.